I'd like to introduce, of course, Mr. Hubert Chua. He is over here. He is the honorary chairman of Anvil Business Club, and beside him is the current president of Anvil Business Club. Both of them are very talented entrepreneurs, young community leaders. A little background on them. See, Mr. Hubert Chua is into the tire business. He's one of the largest tire business person in the country. He is a graduate of De La Salle University, business management, and then studied masters in entrepreneurship at Ateneo de Manila University. Honorary chairman now of Anvil Business Club. This is a dynamic business and philanthropic organization of young Filipino-Chinese entrepreneurs ages 20 plus to 40 plus. Edad nila. Tapos si Mr. Christopher Ye over here, he is the dynamic outstanding president right now. He is in the textile manufacturing business, graduate of management economics from Ateneo de Manila University, and a unique background of Mr. Cliche. Before joining the family business, he wanted to prove to his father and mother that he is not a spoiled brat. He wanted to show them na magaling siya. So he went to one of the most competitive countries in the world and worked in one of the most globally competitive Philippine companies, Owishi Liwayway Group, and helped run one factory in the rural countryside of China for 3 years. Let us ask them, please be ready with your own questions, anything about Chinese entrepreneurial tradition, anything about their ideas on the Philippine economy, their hopes, their dreams, and also lessons from Chinese entrepreneurial culture, which we could all benefit from. Let us welcome now Mr. Christopher Ye, President of Anvil Business Club.
So good afternoon to all of you. I would like to thank, of course, our Wilson Lee Flores for inviting me to be here. In Anvil Business Club, we're a group of young Filipino-Chinese entrepreneurs, and one of the things that we really push and our mission is really to help businesses grow, because we believe that when we help entrepreneurs grow their businesses, we're able to create livelihood and we're able to create positive impact in the community. So I think what I can share would be like my experiences from China, from Philippines, and also being part of the Anvil Business Club. And as I mentioned, Wilson, we're very open to answer any questions you might have. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Christopher Ye. Hubert Chua, Honorary Chairman of Anvil Business Club.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all of you. I'm Hubert, and it's an honor to share the stage with some of my closest friends, Honorary Chairman Wilson Flores of Anvil and of FFCI also, and of course, President Chris Ye. So, moreover, what I'd like to emphasize is that being Chinoy, we have what we call Dugong Chino, Pusong Pinoy, Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. We do believe as Chinoys that we are Filipino, our loyalty is to the Philippines. We do our best to promote the development of this country. We believe that we have a crucial role to play. As parang tawag ko nga sa sarili ko, I'm a Chilocano. I'm from Ilocos Norte. We believe that we have a crucial part to play. We have to bring our entire uniqueness and our cultural experience so that all of us in the country can grow.
Thank you very much. I got already 5 questions from people. They texted me. I'd like to ask the two of you. Can you name 3 entrepreneurs in the Philippines, in our community, that you look highly to, and why, or what qualities all of us, whether entrepreneurs or ordinary people, can learn from? Any 3 entrepreneurs?
Of course, first and foremost, I would be remiss if I did not mention my father, who is not only my boss, but of course, I owe a lot to him, almost everything. He founded our business from hardship and from nothing. All of us, most of us Chinoys have an experience like this. We have a father, hardworking, from zero, built a business, imparted his values, and is able to help so many people. My father comes from Ilocos, and he was able to build a business that spans nationwide. It's something that I really admire and respect, not just for his ability, but the values he's passing on. Of all the entrepreneurs in the Philippines, there are so many, no? We can talk about Henry C. or Tony Tan Caktiong, but the one I admire is Mr. John Gokongwei Jr. Why do I admire him among many? It's because a lot of the businesses he does is to make services accessible to the Filipino. If you remember before, it was very difficult to fly. Ang hirap, ang mahal ng airplane. with Cebu Pacific, he democratized air travel for Filipinos all over the world and for us to be able to access destinations very quickly. And if you remember the days of Sun Cellular, it made data very, very cheap. And we miss Mr. Django Kongwei Jr. I hope that we can have more entrepreneurs like him. And the last I would say is not an entrepreneur, medyo cheating, no, but I would like to commend the 2T Foundation, which is primarily composed of many Chinoys. Because yung 2T is easily the best philanthropic organization in the country. Whenever there's a calamity, they easily are the first responders, they help out. You never imagine these bosses wearing simple clothes, giving cash, giving donation, rebuilding communities, especially nung Yolanda, or even nung Ondoy in Marikina. They did help out a lot. And there are some people to be admired, really.
Mr. Krishy, who are the 3 people you admire and why?
Siguro actually, I'm also inspired by the answer of Hubert Chua, which is first my father. No? Siguro, one of the things that really resonated with me is that there's a quote by Isaac Newton. The reason why how we are able to look far is because we're standing on the shoulder of giants. People who came before us, people who sacrificed for us, our mentors, our fathers, our parents, our uncles, who really guided us to who we are right now. And I think my dad really, hindi niya na kailangan sabihin the things of perseverance, hard work, everything, because he molded it, diba? He showed us that that's the only way to live. And being of service to the community would be one of those also. So I think that gagayahin ko na yung answer ni partner Hubert Chua. But siguro the second one would be Mr. Carlos Chan, my former boss, Uishi, no? It was very interesting because most of the businesses here in the Philippines are more of mas localized yung mindset. But just imagine when China just opened up in 1993, they were like, oh, tara, let's try to open up and venture out abroad. And currently they have around 15 factories in China, which is one of their biggest, if not the biggest market worldwide. And at the same time, as of the latest count, I think they have expanded to 11 different countries. No? So I think like ibang klase talaga yan na food manufacturing ka from the Philippines, expanding to all of these 11 countries and being market leader in most of these markets. So I give the tip my hats off to the Chan family for doing a wonderful job. Can we answer si Wilson Lee Flores also?
Ako din. Sige. Very good.
Yeah.
Ako, of course, you mentioned the names that I admire. Si Mr. John Gokongwei Jr., I admire him very much. When he was alive, he would usually invite me every Wednesday for dinner. We would have dinner in his house. Sabi niya, I should write his biography. I have not yet written it. He's one of the most hardworking entrepreneurs I know. Super hardworking. And I've never seen any entrepreneur like Gokongwei love reading. He has books in his bedroom. He has books in his office. All the magazines. He loves to read voraciously. Even though he was a high school dropout, his father died when he was a teenager, 13 or 12. But he kept on reading nonstop. That's what I learned from him. Voracious reader, nonstop studying, super hardworking. And in this society now, in these times of so much political corruption, he is one tycoon that I remember he told me he avoids political entanglements. Even during martial law, when almost everyone had to deal with the government and compromise, he was very apolitical. He told me, kasi ayaw niya ng shortcuts. And I could not forget one thing about him in relation to Senator Nikki's project here and to the advocacy of Ambassador Jaime Flor Cruz. He loved the idea of promoting Philippine-China relationship. In fact, before he died, he created a program sending many young outstanding students from the Philippines, I don't know, 50 or 30 every year, to study in China for 1 year. Parang Rhodes Scholar Project. He wanted the future leaders of the Philippines to understand China and to engage. I was fortunate to be the youngest board of judges to choose all these outstanding people in the first few batches. Si Ambassador was a friend of these students, I remember. So he had this dream. In fact, when he was even at the latter part of his career, every month he was flying to China, every month, to learn ideas, to think of another. So he wanted the whole Philippines to benefit from the rising star of Asia, China economy. Number one. Number two, Lucio Tan. I think he is one of the most philanthropic entrepreneurs that I've ever encountered. Grabe mag-donate, even though some of the donations are not known to everyone. And number three, Henry C. super hardworking, humble, down to earth. He is very good at hiring many people who are smarter than him. That's what I noticed about him. A very unique person. Thank you for that question. There's another question here. Not really exactly business oriented, but I got a text here from many people. They want to know from Hubert Chua and Christopher Ye, young business people, how do you see or how do you propose to improve Philippine-China relations in these difficult times of territorial disagreement? Is there a way out from the business point of view? Do young business people have a suggestion?
The first thing I would say, pinakauna talaga is there have to be ties between the people. And the best way to create ties between the Filipinos and the Chinese is to visit China. Because maraming misconception dito about China that it is a backwards country na nakakatakot pumunta doon kasi baka kung ano mangyari. In truth, the truth cannot be farther from this. In fact, many people in the Philippines mahilig pumunta sa Japan or sa Korea. I would assure you guys, pag pumunta kayo sa Shenzhen or sa Shanghai or sa Guangzhou or sa Beijing, you will find cities that are more futuristic and more internet savvy, more using AI than any of these other countries. Of course, it is difficult because of the language barrier, but I think there are many ways now and there are direct flights. Because only in seeing how far they've progressed in 40 years, you will start dreaming, baka sa Pilipinas pwede rin maabot yung naabot nila. Kasi ibang mga bansa, iba naman yung development path kesa sa Pilipinas eh. Like many countries have had different experiences, especially in the past 200 to 300 years. But to see a country rise in 40 years, 45 years, it's within the lifetime of one person. Ambassador Jaime Flor Cruz saw it firsthand noong 1970s all the way to now. From a third world country na ang layo-layo to easily a country that is a powerhouse technologically, that is unheard of in human history. And in learning that, of course, dun magiging open yung mind natin na, okay, baka naman may matututunan din tayo. Let's leave aside dispute and conflict. That will always be there kahit sa apo pa natin. Why not learn first? Iahon muna natin ang sarili natin sa kahirapan. Saka tayo mag-isip ng other things.
Thank you, Hubert. What about Mr. President Clichy and his perspectives on that issue?
Siguro for me, we've had hundreds of years of friendship with China, and so far, I agree with Hubert and parang like we should be very open instead of like very confrontational. Because if I've seen like I've been in China 10 years ago, and the China today is very very different than what it is 10 years ago. And if we're able to learn from them, talk to them, discuss with them, and somehow maybe we might be able to get new ideas on how they were able to achieve it. Because ibang klase talaga yung growth of China over the years. And I think if we treat them as a friend and they treat us as a friend also, and there's mutual respect between each other, I think it will go a long way for the Philippines rather than treating each other as part of conflict. No? So as friends na lang. So that's my answer.
Thank you. May tanong dito for Mr. Clichy and also for Hubert Chua. You've been in China as the one running one factory of Oishi. What have you observed about the work ethic and sense of competition of that society that maybe we could learn some ideas from now in the Philippines or be inspired to be kind of a little bit like them? Or can you share what did you learn?
Siguro, my sharing would be like, we have always said that Chinese people are very hardworking, very persevering, very frugal. But while I was in China working there, this is very true. In some cases, they would only take like 3 days leave in a month, and they would work for 12 hours a day. And
12 hours.
12 hours. So just imagine that. And of course, if you think about it, like if we're working 8 hours and they're working 12 hours, and mas konti pa holiday doon, I think the productivity of the manpower and the people there are generally like, if you think about it, 50% more. And yung trabaho nila is hindi siya yung parang pabagal. But they really work very hard. And apart from hard work, they're also very innovative in terms of how they use technology. You'd be surprised with how they use technology. For example, with Shopee, Lazada, naging nauso yan mga 2018 eh. But when I was in China 2012, nagsisimula na yung Taobao, everything. It's very early. If you think about it, it's 6-7 years ahead of what we have here. Even yung mobile payments, everything, they have it mga 2014, meron na siya eh. Recently, mga 2020, doon na tayo nagsimula gumamit ng GCash. So, I think it's a truly amazing experience for me to be working in China.
Thank you. In relation to this question, somebody also texted for Hubert Chua. Yun about hard work and ano, is that what they call Confucian values? And can you share some ideas about Confucian values that the whole Philippines and everyone can learn from maybe?
Yeah. So Confucian values or these values that have been passed for 4,000 years, maybe around 3,000 years since the time of Confucius, at dinadamdam ng mga, mga may Chinese culture all over the world, including the Filipino-Chinese community here. I will just share a few of them. There are so many, but I will just share a few of them. First is, it's very trite to say hard work, pero the real term in China for this is eat hardship, 吃苦, eat hardship, 吃痛. Because without eating hardship, hindi ka darating sa ginhawa. The Chinese have a remarkable ability to delay gratification para sa susunod na ang ginhawa. For example, nagtatayo ako ng negosyo, kikita ako ng, let's say, 100,000. For Chinese, what they would do is, gagastusin nila 10,000, yung 90,000, i-reinvest nila sa negosyo. Whereas other cultures, for the most part, they would spend it, most of it, uutang pa. And I think the secret to that, the ability to delay self-gratification, yun, very, very important yun. Dito, laganap ang sugal. Sa China, bawal ang sugal. Bawal ang online gambling, bawal lahat to. Kaya they were very angry at Pogo, di ba? The other thing is filial piety. Tinatawag nilang filial piety or respect for your elders and especially your parents and grandparents. Ako, I would term it differently. Respect your history also. If you talk to any Chinese entrepreneur, well, most of the ones that still have the culture, maaalala nila, yung lolo ko dito nang galing, nagsimula sa wala. Tayo minsan di natin naaalala lahat yun eh. And yung sad part about our culture here in the Philippines is, yung nagnakaw 20 years ago, hindi mo naaalala nagnakaw or pinagbibigyan, pinatatawad eh. In other countries, especially those with Confucian culture, ang nagnanakaw pinapatay eh. Or, I'm not advocating for the death penalty, but it goes without saying that we have to really, respect and protect our reputations. Because what you do now reflects not only on you, but on your parents, on your grandparents, and on your clan. Sa China, tinitingnan yung clan mo, napahiya dahil sa kagagawa ng isang tao na medyo balasubas. That is not good. So, these are just some.
Thank you very much. I got several texts dito. Another question I got from somebody there with the camera, Mr. Noy Morcoso. Ang tanong niya dito, in the ongoing investigation of flood control projects anomalies, what is your take about this? How is this corruption scandal, the unresolved controversies, affecting our Philippine economy now? And what are your suggestions? From Mr. Noy Morcoso.
Ito may comment ako.
Taga-inquirer.
Sorry. Okay. What many people don't realize, and this is looking at China's government systems, many people think there's just one guy on top dictating everything. That is not true. In fact, the Chinese have a means of promotion para siyang isang malaking corporate world na if you're a mayor of this city, you have to perform and uplift people out of poverty and increase the GDP. Then if you perform well, mapopromote ka, magiging mayor ka ng Beijing. Then after that, magiging governor ka ng, let's say, Shandong province. Then after that, only then, saka ka pwedeng maging minister. So, yung mga government officials sila, nagko-compete na pagalingan. Of course, there's also corruption. Pero at the end, kung hindi ka magaling, hindi ka mapropromote. unlike here, there seems to be a competition for corruption. Well, I hope there's not, but it seems to be that we hear the stories getting worse and worse. So I hope that we can devise a system in which our government officials can compete for performance, and the ones that perform better in, let's say, their home province can get the chance to go up higher rather than mga mediocre people that are good at talking lang ang napopromote. That is not good for the country.
Thank you. Chris, maybe you have, yes?
Right. If
Yes.
I would compare like a country to a business, we will always welcome transparency, the investigations, but at the same time, we're very hopeful because we want a brighter future for the Philippines. We don't want naman na magagulo everything. Siguro one answer I would say would be like in terms of philosophy. If we think about a country, wow, it's very hard to fix all of the problems, but if you think about it, that na sobrang laki, parang maybe we can start smaller. Start with ourselves. Are we a good person for the community? Are we doing the best we can for our family? Am I a good person? And I think if we do in our own small ways the things that we can do by ourselves, we can influence the community, we can influence a nation, and look forward to a brighter Philippines. No? So I think that would be my answer rather than just wishing na ano mo yun, may makulong or ano. But like, for me, mas proactive ako in that aspect, like, ano ba yung magagawa natin by ourselves rather than wishing sana magawa nila na maayos yung dapat mangyari. Diba? So, I think that's my answer to that.
Thank you. Sabi ni Mr. Princeton Ong, thank you for this question. Mr. Hubert Chua and Christopher Ye, what is the reason behind the low cost of goods that we import from China? How are they able to make so many products at low cost? And what can the Philippine economy learn from their advantages or strategies?
Siguro for me, how I see it is that for the Chinese government, they embark on long-term mission or long-term projects na maybe for the next 5 years, baka it might not make money, but eventually, if they support this industry, eventually they'll earn money, diba? Para siyang isang seed, diba? For example, if we give the right nutrition, right environment, naturally a plant will grow by itself. Then once na may fruit na, then that's the time wherein you're able to make it more efficient, regulate everything. So I think that's one of the things, the support of the government to these industries. At the same time, siguro they really take advantage of the natural resources that they have. For us, kasi we do a lot of exports, mga fruits natin, unprocessed, rather than just processing it locally, then export finished products. So, nangyayari, essentially, to answer Princeton's question, if we're just importing all of the end products, finished products of from China, magiging mas mahal talaga siya. No? So, but if we would invest for the long term for the local manufacturing here in the Philippines and believe in ourselves that eventually we will be able to succeed, I think we have the talent, we have the people, eventually we have the technology with AI to be able to compete with China. No? So, I'm quite optimistic in that.
Thank you, Chrissy. Sabi niya, support local industry, especially from government. Mr. Hubert Chua.
There's something I'd like to also emphasize with partner Chrissy. When they say the government has a long-term plan, this is what they at the start did. Alam ng China, ang main advantage nila when they started opening up is, number one, they are the country with the biggest market, highest number of people. So sabi niya, okay, US company, Japanese company, European company, they want to come into China. Sige, invest kayo in factory here, but also teach us the technology. And then when tumalino sila at bumaling sila, then they eventually learn, okay, we can do these products ourselves for different people. And then eventually, nung lumakas sila, then they started also investing in other companies. Many of you might be surprised to know that Volvo is already owned by Chinese. GE is owned by Chinese. The biggest aircon manufacturer in the world is Chinese, Midea, which actually also makes Carrier. yung aircon natin sa Pilipinas. Mercedes-Benz, 20% is owned by Chinese companies. So, and then eventually, from that knowledge, they started making their own brands. BYD, nakikita natin ngayon. Haier, we see it also. Oppo, Vivo. So, levels kasi yan eh. You start by learning from others. Then you start by making competitive products. Then next, you make your own brands. All of us, we have to have ambition and vision. Tayo sa Philippines, we have to have ambition more than just copying and more than just being call center. We have to want to be at the pinnacle. The same with Korea. Yung Korea, matalino sila, okay, let's invest in our film culture. And then eventually, K-pop came out, K-drama came out. What are we Filipinos investing in? That we want to know and we want to nurture. We have the best in many things around the world. Our Filipinos are competitive worldwide as OFWs, as professionals, balikbayans. What do they learn that they can bring back? Yun dapat isipin din natin.
May tanong pa dito. What are your suggestions to young people who want to become entrepreneurs? What are your tips to people who want to eventually become business people, whether young people studying or young professionals? What are your suggestions?
First, the most important thing in being an entrepreneur is the ability to see gaps wherever the market has gaps. So there has to be a need that you fulfill. Hindi pwedeng basta-basta lang, okay, gusto ko maging negosyante, magtatayo ako ng business. Any one business starts by supplying products that the market needs. What habits do you need to learn? One is, first and foremost, the ability to learn from others and to see what's happening in different places. So, kailangan mo mahilig magbasa or mahilig mag-travel to get ideas from other countries as well. Because what works in other countries, there's a chance it might work in the Philippines. Of course, there are other means, but in terms of values, of course, learning from successful people, getting a mentor, very, very important. Kasi the mentor has made mistakes already for you to avoid. Okay. Another thing, very important, kasi hindi naman laging up ang negosyo. When things are good, save. Because you never know when things might go wrong and you've spent all your money. Sometimes you need to save for the rainy day. Some values are very important. Of course, many of us in the Filipino-Chinese community, from a very, very young age pa lang, like when we're teenagers or even younger, it's very ingrained in us that magnegosyo ka. Hindi ka magtatrabaho, magnegosyo ka. But of course, if you don't have that background, it's never too late. The important thing is you have to have the ability to see the need and you have to have the determination. Okay, now that I want to go, saan ako matututo nitong industry na ito?
Thank you, Mr. Crazy. Tips to young people who are aspiring future business people.
Siguro for me, fortunately to be able to meet lots of business people in Anvil Business Club. Siguro the first thing is curiosity, diba? Parang like whenever we go around, parang like, oh, may problema na ng ganito, ganyan, sana maging mas mabilis, sana maging mas maayos, everything. And I think it starts with curiosity, how things can be better. Then eventually, once now we have that in mind, we're able to dream bigger, where we can have like a vision of what would be a bright future will be. Once we embark on it, let's take it as a challenge or a journey rather than like, uy, kikita agad ako ng malaki, diba? Kasi based from the people we've had as speakers in Anvil, the ones who are very, very inspiring are those who want to solve a lot of problems in the Philippines. For example, we have Edgar Saavedra who wants to build first world Philippines. Gusto niya infrastructure, airports, roads, everything would be like first world. We have Edward Lee of Call Financial who wants to allow most Filipinos to be able to access investments, stock investing, everything. We also have Joy Nostalge, Junang Jr., who would home the homeless, and give them like a good place to stay, diba? To form families. So I think that would be my tip, no? Parang first would be curious. Second, to be focused on continuous learning. Na parang sometimes, occasionally, we would make mistakes, we would encounter some challenges, but as we go along, we learn, we become better, and it makes us a better person and better business people. So yeah, that would be my advice.
Thank you very much, Hubert Chua. There are two questions here texted to me. Since the theme of Senator Nikki Cosseteng's 3-day event is better friendship between Philippines and China, what 5 places in China, whether cities or provinces, do you recommend us to visit as tourists, and why? The two of you, because you look like well-traveled business people, and see Mr. Krishy, 3 years working in China. I'm sure you had day off somehow. What are the 5 places you would recommend to all Filipinos to visit, and why? 5 places. Kasi many people have not been there. Many people know California and Florida and New York more than our neighbor China. Sabi ni Ambassador yan in the last trip with the Filipino-Chinese Friendship Association, Danny Che, sabi niya, encourage more visits between two countries for understanding. 5 places daw you recommend for everyone to visit. And why?
Okay. Someone once said here, if you want to see China from 1,000 years ago, go to Xi'an. Xi'an is the ancient capital of China. Nandun yung terracotta warriors. It's like going to a time warp to see Imperial China. If you want to see China of 400 to 600 years ago, go to Beijing. That's where the Forbidden City is, the Great Wall. You can see China's capital and how they were able to like solidify after 200 years of colonialism. If you want to see the China of today, you go to Shanghai. Shanghai is a very high-tech financial hub. All the foreigners are there. All the multinationals are there. So many good learnings. You will be floored by Shanghai. And they say, if you want to see the China of the future, go to Shenzhen. Because Shenzhen is where all the tech companies are. All the BYD, Huawei, all of them are there. You'll be able to see the latest. Kasi China has this, how do you call it? Si Deng Xiaoping, the former leader of China, has this saying, you cross the river by feeling the stones. The way modern China works is, if you want to experiment somewhere, you do it first in one place. Like, for example, I want to open China up. You do it in Shenzhen. After that, the whole country will start adopting the positive things that were happening in Shenzhen. In the Philippines, sana we can also do the same. Diba? Ako, start mo muna sa Palawan. Oh, nag-work sa Palawan, pwede ba sa Cebu? Ganyan. And so, these are the 4 places I would recommend. Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Xi'an. These are the 4.
Thank you, Hubert Chua. Mr. Krishy, what 5 places would you recommend for people in the Philippines to visit?
Siguro for me, it would be exactly the same. I would add maybe Guangzhou because of the Canton Fair. A lot of people who would like to start businesses, they usually go for the Canton Fair to see what are the products in China. But siguro, apart from the other 4 in Guangzhou, just an anecdote that in China, when you go to China this year, in 5 years it will be probably quite different than how you see it this year. No? So I think it's always worth a visit because it's like a glimpse to the future, seeing how they're utilizing AI, how they're utilizing all of these technologies, seeing like even their streets halos lahat electric na, you won't really hear a sound as compared to here in the Philippines. And I guess going there inspires us that there's a possibility for a brighter future for the Philippines now.
And one thing I'd like to add, as with partner Chrissy mentioned, China is both a place of history and of the future. That's a very paradoxical. Kasi normally when you go to a place, puro history lang, or puro future lang, or puro beach lang. China has both. They're very futuristic, but they take care of their historical heritage. If you go to Intramuros or to Luneta Park, will you feel like, okay, this is the history of the Filipino people? Hindi mo sobrang mafe-feel because hindi na alagaan ng ating mga authorities. I wish we took care of our history more. Even places like Vigan or places like Kawit Cavite where yung national flag and national anthem was first brought out. Sa China, they preserve everything. But not just China, even Japan, even Korea. They respect their history.
Tinanong din dito, I share daw suggestions ko. Personally, I would add to all their great suggestions. I'd like to add our ancestral place where our ancestors came from before, Chuanzhou City in Fujian. A very charming, exotic place. Another place I'd like to recommend, if you want to see the actual panda in Chengdu, they say it's a very relaxed place. Those are some of the many. And also recently I went to an incredible, breathtaking place. It's like the Maguindanao and Sulu of China, but very progressive. Xinjiang province. I was invited by Senator Nikki Coseteng and Mr. Danny Che over here, Filipino-Chinese Friendship Association. Everyone should go to Xinjiang also, very amazing.